having issues with the internet. We'll find out here in a second. Okay, we're going to find out if this is working. I don't know what it is with our internet here. I guess you guys probably experienced the same thing. I'm not telling you anything new. I'm going to have to call the internet company and have them raise their standard of service over here again. Hi, Jim Adkins here from Adkins Results Coaching, and it's early in the morning. I'm expecting some black belt students to walk in, and this is my time with you. So I've had some questions come back up, and I love these when they happen and they repeat themselves because it gives me the opportunity to reaffirm my coaching skills and reaffirm some of the beliefs that I actually have in my life. And the one that kept popping up last week and starting with the weekend was standards, raising your standards. I said it, it came out of my mouth, and the reticular activating system kicked in, and then all of a sudden I noticed the question everywhere. So here it is. How do you raise your standards? And you hear it all the time, right? In life, when you're talking about success or anything, raising your standards. So how do you raise your standards when you can't change the scenery? And I put scenery in quotation marks because scenery can mean a lot of things. It can mean your environment. And, sometimes we get really cluttered and our environment doesn't reflect what we want to become, but it reflects who we are at the moment. So that's one way. And number two, scenery can mean the people that you surround yourself with. Now, how is it you get stuck with the same type of people around you? Well, maybe you work with them. Right? This is just how it is. You have a job that you love or a career that you've been working a long time, and you find that the people that have gravitated themselves towards or around you or in that career or in that job no longer push you, no longer they're not, how do I put this politely? You've grown to a point to where they no longer challenge you intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. I'm not talking about challenge you in a harsh way, but challenge you to grow, right? I take that back. I guess everything's growth. But so that's my question. How do you raise your standards when your environment is hard to change? Maybe the people that are around you are family, and you can't change your family. And maybe your situation is at the time you're living together, or you need to spend more time together at this moment in your life with those people. So how is it that we can raise our standards, or on the same level as that, not allow others to influence us to lower our standards? Because they're not going to lower them. They're not going to lower our standards, but we could allow ourselves to do that in an environment that doesn't challenge us. An analogy that some people have, I think it was Tony. I'm just going to give Tony credit. Slippery slope. My connection is unstable. I'm getting messages here. I hope this is coming through. I'll try and re-record it later if I need to. So as you raise your standards and you're surrounded by people that no longer motivate you, how do you maintain that? Well, there's a couple of ways. I'm going to give you some tips here real quick on how to do that. One, make a list of things you'd like to change about yourself. And people, a lot of people will say, raise your standards or sharpen your focus or pay more attention, and then yield to give you the advice or the tools on how to do that. I'm going to try and do a little bit of that here, and we'll come back later and do some more. But so raising your standards in an environment that's not helpful. Number one, make yourself a list. Make yourself a list of the things that you'd like to change in your life. And I'm going to give you one today that you can start with, and you've heard me say it before, but it's a good one. 2, go slow. Every day, make a little bit of progress, and you have to practice for progress. You have to practice it. So if you want to raise your standard, and one of the things that you've decided to do, and this is one of the kids that I coach, he is very much against cussing. Now, for whatever reason, he does not like the swear words. And it's not because, he's super religious or anything like that. There's just something about his belief that he thinks that's disrespectful. So when he hears people cuss, he doesn't lash out at them, bless his heart, a little 8-year-old kid, but you can tell it doesn't make him feel good. And wherever that came from, and I know where his came from, but wherever it came from, he prefers not to do it. So he's challenging himself every day to motivate away from that. When he hears it, he knows it's wrong and he moves away from it. And he'll stop the conversation with whoever uses the word, and I've watched him move away, which is advice. You stop the conversation, you just move on. And you choose not to surround yourself with that person. And I've also taught him to voice his opinion in a positive manner, where he lets people know, because maybe not everybody knows. So he's learning to share his opinion and raise his standard, and hopefully maybe the standard of the person around. So you can voice your opinion, okay? But practice it every day. Practice it every day. Number 2, model somebody who you would who has traits that you would like to adapt. And I've done this all my life, with martial arts especially, and I'll share that with you. When you model somebody, you can pick up their traits that are beneficial that you like. So you see somebody in life that may be a teacher or a role model of some sort, which can be both, right? And you go, I like that person's integrity, or wow, that honesty, or their laugh, or their sense of humor, or the way they love, or the way they present themselves, or even the way they dress. And you model that. You don't try to become them, but you feel the way they feel at that moment, and you put that hat on and you live it for a while, or you put the shoes in and you walk a mile, right? And it becomes yours if you like it. You can do that. So model somebody that you have have traits that you would like. How do you do that in an environment that's not supportive? Go outside your environment. Oh, it's good morning. Go outside your environment and find, a role model anywhere. Read a book. Find a role model in that book, and lose yourself in that character. If not a book, a movie. If not a movie, a seminar. If not a seminar, a teacher. If not a teacher, somebody you see every day at the store or wherever, and get to know those people. So that's another way you can do that. And then my third thing of advice: live who you are. And if you're repeating patterns, if you're repeating activities because of a job or a career or things like that, and you've settled into a way, meaning you've done it forever, and the old you comes back up automatically. You set yourself into the routine, and pretty soon you're acting the way you've always acted in that situation. You're doing the things you've always done in those situations. How do you insert the new you with the new standards? Well, you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful. So those are the 3 things I want you to think about if you're raising your standard in an area where your environment cannot change. 1, make a list and whittle it down daily. Practice, okay? And practice one at a time. And it can be 1 a day, 1 a month, but improve. Practice to improve, and that's what it'll become. And you'll know how it feels. And pretty soon you'll get hungry for it, and you'll continue to do that. So raising your standards. Number 2, make sure that you live who you are.